Hey guys, welcome to this weird video in this unusual setting. So it's past 1 a.m. now, 1:15 in the morning, and it's an odd time for me to sit down like this to film. But as always, I was in my thoughts and I thought I had something to share on video that I thought would be valuable. Before I get into anything, I'm going to light my candle as I've been doing recently and get into it. So if you've been following this channel for a while, I got into online business a year and a half ago. Until now, I've made almost 1k from all the dropshipping I've done, which isn't a lot, you would think, in this amount of time, based on stories you've heard all over on social media. But I think it's important to put into perspective the context that I came from, above all, how everything has changed in social media since this whole trend started 2 years ago. Looking back when I first started doing organic TikTok 1 year ago, my videos were awful, my products were awful, and I mean awful. I mean the most random shit you could find online. The most random AliExpress shit that probably cost 20p to make and has nothing special about it. And back then I thought that was something to try. But anyways, I was a complete beginner. And it's odd that I was still 18 years old, 19 years old actually, and still being so immature and illogical and not recognizing just how dumb this whole thing is that I was doing. But anyways, the point is, I was thinking to myself, is going into online business in today's day and age as a complete beginner, like I was 2 years ago, a viable option or not? All these massive gurus you see, these really successful entrepreneurs who I'm really inspired by the way, I don't dislike them. When they first started, some of them started 10 years ago, some of them 5 years ago, we'll say 10 years ago. 10 years ago, look even at social media. Where was social media 10 years ago? What was Instagram like 10 years ago? And I'm saying this as someone who does mainly TikTok and Instagram Reels as his main source of advertising. Instagram Reels wasn't a thing 3 years ago from what I believe. I've not checked this online, but from my experience, I don't remember watching Instagram Reels the way I do now, 2 years ago even, let alone 3, 4, 5 years ago. So yes, and maybe you could say this means it was harder for these gurus when they were starting. But no, because yes, there wasn't as much options as we do have now, but look at the competition they had. 10 years ago, you wouldn't hear about online entrepreneurship at all, really. It wasn't a thing to publicize it. The people that found themselves doing that, they stuck to it and they became rich. They started their businesses, sold their products, made their brands, and went on. But then 3 years ago, where the whole boom came in, with the Escape the Matrix, Andrew Tate came in with his motto, and that set the whole world by storm. And that created a whole, forest, a whole industry that wasn't there before. So realistically, you look at this scenario we're in now, it's become almost like football music. The very saturated market, a very saturated niche. Because you could literally make a YouTube channel just teaching how to get beginners good product to sell, and you get millions of views. Look at the biggest dropshipping only YouTubers. They have millions of views, and most of those views aren't from the customers, they're from people who want to dropship. So there's millions of people dropshipping. Now the business model hasn't changed, obviously, but the sudden boom we have with all these people coming in wanting to be the next Andrew Tate, Iman Gadzhi, etc., it just makes everything a lot different and makes everything very much more saturated and not viable for most people. Because look what they had to do. They had to go through decades of struggle. And now, through social media, people think that they only need half a year of work to make loads of money and then they're done for the rest of their life. Now, in terms of social media, I'm talking about Instagram Reels and TikTok. Where was Instagram Reels 2 years ago? Well, it was non-existent. What was the Instagram algorithm like? I know exactly what it was like because I followed it. I've been on Instagram for almost 10 years now. And I remember pretty well how everything looked and how it's changed over time. Now, is this to our advantage as dropshippers or not? Definitely. But what has happened is it filters out 99.9% of content and leaves a 0.1% of content that goes really up there, because the amount of active users on Instagram is definitely significantly higher than it was 10 years ago. But because of that, the amount of people posting content is significantly higher and the quality of the content goes up. So compared to 10 years ago, if you're a complete beginner who's never made any content online, who's never filmed products, who's never marketed anything, if you want to be at the very top level, those are getting 20 million views on a reel and above, because that's what you want to achieve if you want to start printing money with organic TikTok. I'm talking about, 10k days profit. You have literally 10 years of work, so to say, to get from beginner content maker to those that are in the 0.1% that the Instagram algorithm almost prizes, if that's a word, and chooses to give most of all the engagement to those videos. Now, when I look at my content 1 year ago, it was cringeworthy, honestly. And to be honest, probably some of the content I've made recently is too. But I look at the videos I've filmed this week and I see how much I've improved. But there's still so far to go. And the thing is, it's not just about the content you make. It's above all the product. And you can't control that. Right now I have a good product, but it may be too saturated already. Because I was kind of not sure. What I'm saying is, especially with organic TikTok, this is what I'm doing now. This isn't what I want to do the rest of my life. This is like my entry step into online business and into, it's like buying the entry fee, paying the entry fee. I post loads of TikToks for a year or two, get to 100k profits, and then I have this money, this investment, this ladder that I can go to these bigger business models. I can go properly into paid advertising. I can invest into UGC creators. I can invest into private label, into my own stock, my own labeling on the product, my own private agents that manage my products and manage the operations and the shipping. Because then I can truly scale the business that I make to 7-8 figures. But now in this broke stage, all these kids that want to start, which is great, like me, you have to do the dirty work first. You have to do the boring filming, 3-4 TikToks a day of you moving a product around with your hand, writing interesting hooks, putting music on, and getting creative with it. It's not easy. It's not interesting. Although I find the creative aspects of it very interesting. But you have to be very disciplined and you have to be on top of it every day. Now, why am I making this video about why you shouldn't start an online business and why it's not worth doing now? Because as I said, you have 10 years of work to do, 10 years of catching up. Because 10 years ago, I don't know exactly when social media like Instagram and TikTok started. I know TikTok is a lot more recent, but I think Instagram maybe was 2009 or 10 that it started. People have been posting on there since then. And at the start, it was just people posting a picture of their dog or their birthday cake. Only a few years in, you got actual, video content. Back then, there wasn't even any Instagram algorithm. You just posted for your friends and family. And then some years in, you got the Instagram algorithm, which allowed you to push your content, or it to push your content to people that don't know you, which, that's why these boomers don't understand that concept, because they think that it's just sharing to people because they don't understand the concept of an algorithm. But the algorithm then began posting people's content to everyone else, and then people began thinking how they can use this to their advantage to make money. And then years went by, people, as always, when something new comes in, a new concept, you get thousands, if not millions of people, each with their own perspective on it, trying to find their take, which will be unique and revolutionary. Innovative is the word. So if you've never made content before, you see, these hustlers on social media with the Lamborghinis and Rolexes, and you're like, I want that lifestyle. You just think in terms of the lifestyle, and then you say, why don't I pick dropshipping? You pick dropshipping and you realize, how the fuck am I meant to compete with all these people? They were making such incredible content, so transitions so clean, product so good, everything, I'm not going into detail. And then it's like, do I even have a chance? Do I even have a shot? And that's why most people fail. And that's why, if it was 10 years ago that you were starting an online business, you wouldn't have this overload of information. The steps would be a lot more simpler. It would still be hard work, obviously, but you would have an easier, clearer route. Now, people disagree with me and say that we have so much more opportunities today. We do, but if you don't tune your mind in the right way, you'll have an overload of information and you'll just quit. And I'm talking about people who are beginners, who've never posted a single piece of content in their life. I'm still a beginner technically, even though I've been at this for a whole year. I may have had my ups and downs, as I've talked about on this channel. And hopefully, now that if you've been watching these videos, I'm by myself from now on for a year and beyond. I have no excuses. The only excuse is in my mind, if I allow my emotions to get the best of me. But now, I've only been alone for a week, so I've only been posting content for half a week. So I've already made a sale after posting 2 videos on Instagram that only got 12 views. I made a sale. So after a week or two, it looks like I might be able to blow a product up, this one. But obviously I can't control that. But it looks like it from now. And then, if I can do this in a month, 12 months from now, I should be well on my way to, if not even achieving my 100k profits from organic TikTok. And so, guys, I don't know what else I can add on to this. Don't know if I've covered everything I was thinking about. It's more or less, I was fascinated by how the Instagram algorithm has changed over these 10 years that's existed, and how the TikTok algorithm, it has changed in the last 2 or 3 years. And it's also a good thing to ask how these will change in the next 10 years. Maybe they won't exist anymore. Maybe it'll be completely different. We don't know. What we do know is we need to make the most of this opportunity while we have it now. Get the knowledge in, get the work in, keep focused. Don't be too conscious about people doing much better than you. Everyone's on their own journey. And make as much money as fucking possible. So on that note, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see my journey, my progress, my experience, and my knowledge. And I'll see you all in the next video.